Hello yoga lovelies, welcome to this short chair yoga class for tight hips. Make sure you have a chair at the ready. There will be the option to use 2 chairs in a little bit, but I'll explain all of that when the time comes. Make sure you have your yoga assistant ready. This is my yoga assistant Ella Bella. And come to standing on your mat, and let's just take a few deep breaths to get started. So look down at your feet and see that they're hip distance and parallel, and then just roll your shoulders back and down. And as you stack your head up over your heels, just let your arms gently drop by your sides and let your eyes close. Dropping your attention down into the soles of your feet. See if you can feel your feet getting a little bit heavier from your awareness. And just allowing your head to gently float up as if you had puppet strings on the top of the head. And just truly melt through the tops of the shoulders. Take a couple of nice smooth breaths now. And as you begin to slow down your breath, inhales and exhales, just seeing if you can do that without any straining or any force. Take a couple more nice deep breaths here. Gently deepening the inhales. Very gently lengthening your exhales. One more nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, just place your palms together at your chest, bowing your head gently, looking in towards your center, and then letting your eyes open. Okay, let's do a couple of arm circles to get going. Inhale, sweeping your arms up, palms touch, look up. Exhale, nice wide circle back to the chest. And again, inhale, just kind of waking up the shoulder area, getting the breath moving. Palms touch, look up. Exhale, spread your fingers, reach wide so you feel a nice stretchy feeling on the way up and the way down. 2 more. Inhaling, sweeping your arms up, touch, exhale, back to the chest. Don't worry if you're at a different pace. One more time. Inhale, do your best to go slowly and smoothly. Touch, exhale, back to the chest. From here, let's move into our first little leg and hip action. So come stand next to your chair. So if your chair isn't at the front of your mat, make sure you engage your core to move it. But have the back of your chair facing you. And don't worry if it's a bit higher or a bit lower. This will generally work, this level, this height. And just have the back 2 legs on the sticky mat so there's no accidental skimmage. Put your hands on the chair and just back up, and we're going to do the L shape, which is very similar to downward dog, but with a lot more space and support. And we're going to get a nice stretch down the backs of the legs and through the spine. So look down at your feet, make sure, again, they're hip distance and parallel, and put your hips right over your heels. Look at your hands, no wilty fingers here. So try and spread your fingers and get the meaty part of your palms on the chair, and then reach out through your fingertips. Bend your knees and then up tilt your tail as you gently sink your chest down. So no cranking here. Make sure you don't just push your shoulders. Ease your chest down. You might be way up here if that's more appropriate for you. As you up tilt your tail, maybe you go towards straight legs, but if that pulls you into a tuck, keep a little bend of the knee and prioritize the pelvic tilt, which is to say I could rest a tray of something fabulous on the back of your pelvis here. And if you're doing that, if you can do that, that's the party trick that we're all looking for. You have indeed got a nice long spine as opposed to a rounded one. Press into your feet a little bit more. Take a deep inhale. Just play with this nice L shape. As you exhale, just broaden your shoulders a little away from your ears. Maybe you even sprinkle in a bit of a tail wag. And then take another breath and slowly look forward at your chair. Walk up to it. Plant your feet down, hip distance and parallel. Roll your shoulders back and down. Let's just take a little chest opener while we're here. So draw your arms back. If you're not able to interlace, you can hold a strap or a dog leash, or just imagine squeezing a big beach ball back there. It will still work. So take a nice little lift of the chest there as you draw the shoulders back, pull the navel in, take another breath, and exhale, release your arms. Inhale, sweeping your arms up, palms touch, exhale to the chest. Let's go into a nice high lunge. So step close to your chair. Use your chair to step your left foot as far back as you feel comfortable with. But do bear in mind, having the chair is going to help you find maybe a deeper lunge than normal. So people often think that it's cheat chair class is easy or cheating. Sometimes it is gentle, but sometimes we're actually dialing things up because we have the chair. So look at your front knee, make sure it's stacked over the ankle. That doesn't change. What can change is how far your back foot goes back. So of course, this is a very deep lunge and not everybody's cup of tea. So you modify by bringing that foot in a little bit, listen to your hips in the middle here. Now, a couple of things. Make sure the back heel is stacked up, not pressing down, not winging in, but as best you can, stack it up over the toes. And then if you had headlights on your hip points, they would be pointing forwards. Pull that navel in now and feel a nice stretch through the hips. So if it's dull, go a little longer. If you're hanging on for dear life, go a bit shorter. Do take a little glance and see that the knee is stacked over the ankle, and then put your hands on your chair and just grow tall through the crown of the head and feel the front of the left hip open up a little bit more. Inhale, just straighten the front knee for a moment. Exhale, bending it. And again, inhale, straightening the leg. Exhale, kind of feel that you sink into that nice hip stretch. One more time, inhaling, straighten the leg. Exhale, bending the knee. Now, push your right hand down into your chair and sweep your left arm up, over and slightly back. So you're trying to pull the navel in. Go towards a straight leg back there. Do your best without causing any pain. And as you reach the left arm up, over and slightly back, I want you to feel the front of your left hip opening up. That's your hip flexors, your psoas. Drop those shoulders and use that nice press of your right hand. Inhale, come up, exhale, hands to the chair, and very slowly, little baby steps bring us forward, so no sudden flinging allowed. Plant your feet, look down, make sure they're nice and hip distance and parallel, and then roll your shoulders back and down. Inhale, sweep your arms up, palms touch, exhale to the chest. Second side, so come nice and close to the chair. So again, having the chair might help you find a deeper lunge because you have this support. So you can actually put a little bit of weight into your hands to help you step back in a controlled fashion, which is much harder if you don't have that chair to hold on to. Now, look down, make sure you've got your two tracks so you're not in a tightrope. Your feet are just hip distance apart. Stack up that front knee over the ankle, and again, play with the back foot. So non-negotiable, knee stacked in front, negotiable, how far back the foot goes, and that, of course, is about you and your hips and how it feels in the middle. So, little glance everywhere. So back heel wants to spin in. So stack it up and point the headlights of your hips forward and get that knee right over the ankle. Modify your distance if you're getting too much or too little sensation. And then do a little press into your hands and lift your chest. Inhale, straighten the front leg for a moment. Exhale, so puppet strings on the head as you sink into your hips. You feel that nice little stretch. Inhale, just a couple more. Straighten the leg, exhale, bending the knee. One more time, inhale, straighten, exhale, bending. Now, push your left hand down, sweep your right arm up, over, slightly back. Now feel that your right wrist is opening up the front of your right hip. See if you can join the dots and feel that the front of the right hip, your hip flexors, are getting a bit of daylight there. Drop those shoulders, push into your left hand a little more. Inhale, come up, exhale, hand to the chair. And again, no sudden moves. Make it little baby steps to help you come out of here in one piece. Look down, feet hip distance, parallel. Roll the shoulders back and down. Interlace your fingers again or reach back, squeezing an imaginary beach ball behind you to open up the chest. And then inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale to the chest. Hands on the chair. Step back. Now we're going to do our L shape again with wider feet, which will get more of the inner thighs. So kind of going around this whole hip area. So feet wider than your mat, no accidental splits. So if you had a slippery floor, you'd want to make sure you've got some contact with your mat. Otherwise, if you're okay with in the traction department, feet parallel, look at that, wider than your mat. Reach your fingers and then start to gently sink your chest and just bend one knee at a time. Everything done slowly, mindfully, with intention, and you should feel a nice little twinkling on of the opposite inner thigh when you do this. When you've done a few of those, settle in the middle, take a little knee bend, up tilt your bum so we could rest that tray of something lovely on your back of your pelvis. Maybe you go towards straight legs, but only if you can keep the tray there. So no rounding. Bend the knees, bum up if you need a modification. Take a deep inhale, Press into your feet a little more. Exhaling, and then lift your head and then just toe heel your feet together. So always smooth exits. And then you can just step forward and roll your shoulders back and down. Inhale, sweeping your arms up. Interlace your fingers, push the ceiling away. And then a nice big wide circle to the chest. Standing tall for just a couple of breaths in your mountain pose. Noticing how your hips and legs feel after the couple of things you've done so far. One more inhale and exhale, letting your eyes open. Okay, engage your core. You're going to rotate your chair. So again, if you don't engage your core, we tend to just pull from our backs. We don't want that. So navel in. You can do it in little steps. Get your chair seat facing you. Again, we want just at least two of those legs on the sticky mat so there's no skimming away. Now, let's do our next little hip opener. So from here, you're going to put your hands on the back of the chair, but you're really standing in your feet. So don't lean into your hands. Your chair will tip, and that's not what we're doing. You're going to stand nice and firmly into your feet with a little knee bend. This is just a bit of backup. Very slowly, you can be a little away from the chair, that helps. Very slowly, put your right foot on the chair and just turn the toes out a little bit. So make sure you're using the chair for balance and you're really powering down into your left leg for stability. As you come to the inside of this right knee, start to sink your chest down. Again, keep that left leg nice and steady. So you're pushing into your left foot. That's got a lot of work going there. Maybe you drop your fingertips to the seat of the chair because it feels great. Maybe you need to stay up higher. So as we come down, maybe you're even going lower, but remember, lower isn't necessarily better. You're listening to your right hip. As we come down, I want you to feel the navel lifting. And if you sink your chest, you'll feel this more in your hip than if you round your back. So lift your head and just sink your chest a little bit and give it a couple of breaths just for the right hip to feel something interesting, I hope. So again, power down into your left leg. And then a nice smooth dismount. One hand on the chair, other hand on the chair, and then very slowly step your foot down. Soften your knees. Bring your hands to your knees if you need back support. Otherwise, let's just roll up to standing. Shoulders back and down. Inhale, sweeping your arms up to the top. Exhale to the chest. Second leg. So look how important it is to go in very slowly and safely. So hands on the chair. You could actually have your chair against a wall if you were worried about any tippage. But again, you really want to stand into your legs here. So this is secondary, not putting all your weight in your hands. Very slowly, you can even help that left leg come up onto the chair. Be very safe about how you move. And then power down into your right foot. So your right leg is really holding you and everything else is the icing on the cake. Turn your left toes out a little bit. And again, you can start to just sink your chest down. You're on the inside of this knee. If you've got room, you drop your fingertips. You go to wherever your hip tells you is a good idea. So if you have lots of a sensation, you need to back away. You just come up a little bit. You can exit slowly anytime you need to. But if you've got a little room, you might sink down. So remember, head lifts slightly, chest sinks, right leg nice and steady. Lift that navel, maybe feeling, I hope, something in that left hip. Take a deep inhale and an exhale. And then slow dismount. So again, you wouldn't just suddenly hoist out of here. One hand on the chair, other hand on the chair, right leg steady. You can even help this left leggy come off. Plant your feet. You can put your hands on the chair for a moment and just fold forward. Any distance. You could even be still up here if this is too much for you. Power down into your legs. Take a breath. And then slowly, soft knees for the roll-ups. You can certainly just transition if you need hands on legs or just roll up through your spine, taking your shoulders back and down. Interlace your fingers, lifting your chest again here. Inhale, sweeping your arms up. Push the ceiling away. Let's take a nice little twist. So take a breath and then twist to the right, looking over your right shoulder. Inhale, come through the center. Palms touch. Exhale to the left. Inhale, come back up through the center. Palms touch and then exhale to your chest. Stand nice and tall again in your mountain pose. Take a couple of deep breaths. One more inhale. And then exhale, letting your eyes open, moving right along. So for this one, you have the option for 2 chairs, and if in doubt, I would say 2 chairs. So again, engage your core. I'm going to put this one in front of me. You might want to look for a moment. Here's one I prepared earlier. So my second chair is going to come into view, and I'm going to stick that, let's see, make sure it's in the frame, here. So this one is for your, in fact, I'll mirror you. This one is for going to be for your right foot. So a few options. You could do this with your foot. This is for our little balance prop on a couch or on a coffee table or a step, something much lower, or even up on not a fireplace, let's not get too carried away, or a countertop. It's all about your flexibility and comfort level. I'm going to pick a second chair because it's about right. But look again for the careful goings-ins and the goings-outs. So with your hands on this second chair, you're going to just nice safely put your right foot on aforementioned surface, which again could be a coffee table, could be a second chair, whatever it is height-wise that works for you. And you're facing forward, so this bottom foot's facing forward, this one's turning up. So of course we've got hello inner thighs. And then from here, you're going to inhale, sweeping your arms up. And then as you exhale, you're going to just drop your right hand to your chair and sweep your left arm up and over. So this is so nice for balance. So you wouldn't want to do this without a second prop. If you're very wobbly, it's not worth risking falling. If you don't need the prop, then you can just put your other hand on the leg and enjoy that. Something for everyone. So the top palm rolls down, but the ribs roll up. And notice we're not collapsing down. We're trying to touch the ceiling somewhere over there. Pull the navel in and just make sure you're not pushing your right knee down. Unlock it if that's your tendency. And instead pull the quads up towards the hip and just feel a nice side bend, inner thigh stretch. Inhaling, slowly coming up. Exhale, hand down. And again, mindful dismount. So just take a hold of that leg and then gently set it back on the floor. Other side. So I'm going to just do my little fandango here, switching the chair. You don't have to, I just want to stay facing you. You just make sure you get your left foot on something reasonable. So again, for going in, put your hands on this chair so you can get your left foot safely on whatever surface you've picked. Those toes are pointing up. This leg is just straight forward, so you're in an open hip position, which is why it gives us inner thigh stretch. From here, growing nice and tall, inhale. So you can hold this the whole time if you like. Otherwise, inhale, palms touch. Exhale, so the left hand would go to the chair if you need that extra support as we take this right arm up and over. Now, again, if you don't need the support of the chair, you can take your hand to your leg. But make sure, again, wobbling is not an issue. So pull in below the navel, palm rolls down, ribs roll up. See if you can get that distance from your right foot to your right hand, dropping your shoulders and enjoying this lovely little side bend with inner thigh stretch combo. Take a nice deep inhale, unlock your standing knee, and an exhale. And then slowly from here, inhaling, palms touch, exhale to the chest. And again, using your chair to help you safely dismount. Now, I'm going to dismiss this little second chair. You're no longer needed. Thank you very much. We're coming to sitting now for our last part of the hip stretches for today. So come to sitting in your chair, which should feel quite nice. And then sit towards the front and just lean back and gently pull your right knee into your chest. Extending your left leg forward and just circle out your left ankle for a moment. And then just putting your left foot on the floor, you're going to just make a little circle with this right knee. So you could use both hands. You could hold your chair if that feels a bit more steady and just use your right hand. So of course this isn't about the knee or the hand, it's about the hip, just giving it a little massage and reverse. Couple forward and then place the foot down. Other side, so pull your left knee in, extend your right leg long, little ankle twirl out there, just because we can and it feels nice. And then set that foot down on the floor. And then for this side, same thing. So if it's better for you, just do tiny little circles. If you want to hold the chair and go a little bit more wild with this range of motion, listen to your body. That's the name of the game. And then reverse. So just focus on your left hip socket and just feel that little massage it's getting. A couple more forward. And then slowly place your foot down. Put your hands on your chair to slowly bring yourself up. Sit up nice and tall, and you're going to just take your left foot onto the floor. Put your right foot on the left leg like it's a loading ramp. Well, it is a loading ramp for our purposes right now. Very slowly slide the right foot up and bring the left foot in. So you see how we didn't just crank that on over and fling the leg and risk coming apart at the seams. We go in nice and intentionally. We have a much better chance of noticing any little funny things that happen en route, and we can kind of back off from anything that feels not good in our bodies. Definitely flex your right foot. That's going to protect the knee. If this is just way too much, you could just lean back and just relax for the duration. If you would like to, come to upright, one hand on the foot, one hand on the knee, pelvic tilt. So you're going to inhale, think of tilting your pelvis forward a little bit. It's pretty small. Exhale, rolling it back. And again, just a couple more. So you can feel we tilt the bum forward and you get into a little more of the stretch. Exhale, we roll it back. Just one more time, massaging in there. Inhale, tilt. Exhale, rolling it back. Now, coming to uprights, of course, you can lean back at any point. You can remove the leg if this is too much and just sit and enjoy your breath. We'll be back. If you want to go a little further, last part of this seated pigeon is you can tip forward. So make sure your chest isn't just dropped in on yourself, so you're rounding. Your chest is aiming over the shin. Foot is nicely flexed. You can hold whatever you like to hold, and hopefully feel some light bulbs going off in your right bum cheek, which is, of course, your glutes. So give it a couple of breaths just to feel the hip stretch. Take an inhale, and then slowly coming up. So from wherever you are, we're going to release the leg, extend it forward, another little twirl of the ankle, and then you're going to flex your right foot, the right leg straight, hands on the left knee. You would never put your hands on there because it's precarious. We're putting it on the stacked knee. And then just tilt your bum forward. I'll go side profile for a little hamstring stretch. So as you tilt your bum forward, you should be triggering something in the back of this right leg here. So again, more isn't necessarily better, but just see if you can find a nice manageable stretch there. And then slowly coming on up. Other side. So you're going to extend your right leg forward. Now this is our little loading ramp. We're going to bring our left leg across and then slide it up slowly and mindfully. And as we pull that right foot in underneath, just back up a bit. As we pull that right foot in underneath, make sure you've got a good flex of this left foot. Options: exit immediately because it doesn't feel good. Lean back, and that might just feel nice to hang out there. Or pelvic tilt. So again, you choose according to how your body feels. Inhale, tilt your pelvis forward. You can hold whatever you like. Quite nice to hold the foot in the knee. Exhale, roll it back. Just a couple more. Inhale, tilting forward. Exhale, rolling it back. One more time. Inhaling. Feel that you're kind of tilting into the stretch and exhaling it back. Now you can either lean back, get out of here mindfully, just stay upright, or tilt forward. So of course, going forward gets more sensation, and only if that feels good to you. So strong flex of the foot and ankle to keep the knee happy. And remember, the chest is aiming over the shin here rather than just collapsing in on yourself. So as you come forward, pay close attention to your left hip. Just notice how it feels and take a couple of deep breaths. Feeling that again through the bum cheek. That's your glutes that get tight for all sorts of reasons. If you walk a lot, run a lot, they get tight. If you sit a lot, they get tight. All paths lead to tight buns. So just give them a little stretch here. And of course, when we open up through the glutes, it helps with lower back issues too, as long as we're not forcing it. Take a breath and then slowly coming up. Now, releasing the leg, extending it forward, and then just circling out the ankle. And then placing your foot down. Just back up a little more here. Placing your foot down, a nice strong flex of the foot here. Put your hands on the other knee. So remember, it's the bent knee that you want to be nice, safely supporting yourself on. And as you start to tilt your bum forward, again, find something resembling manageable stretch down the back of this leg. So if you're slumping, you won't feel it. So if you tilt a little the pelvis, you'll feel it a little more. So you're in charge of how much. So monitor, monitor. Take a nice deep inhale and an exhale, and then slowly coming back up. From here, you're going to take your feet wide, turn your toes out, come to the edge of your chair. This pose exists without the chair, which feel free to do, but quite nice to use the chair with your bum on it. Turn your toes out, and then you're going to just bend your right elbow and twist very gently, again, no cranking allowed, to the right as you gently push your other knee away. Inhale, center, exhale, twist to the left, gently push your right knee away. So monitor, monitor, and we go nice and slowly. Inhale, one more on each side. So that as we go in, slowly and mindfully, you have a good sense of when you need to stop and back off. Maybe when you've got a little bit more of a green light, gently twist, easing that left knee away. Inhale, center, exhale, gently twist, ease that right knee away. Then come back to center, and if it feels good, last little gentle pressing apart of the knees, and then slowly coming up. Now, you wouldn't just pull your legs in, so get your hands, cup the backs of the knees, and help those poor little leggies back in so they don't get too much of a shock. And then put your feet hip distance on the floor and parallel, and inhale, sweep your arms up to the top, interlace your fingers, push the ceiling away, and then exhale, big wide circle to the chest. Let's just take a little twist here to finish. So take your right hand behind your back. You can hold the outside of the chair or the back of the chair, whatever suits you. Press evenly on each side of your bum, on each bum cheek, and then as you grow tall through your spine, just gently rotate to the right. Draw your shoulders back and down. Take a breath. And then gently release. Inhale, sweeping your arms up, palms touch, exhale to the chest. A little twist to the other side, hand on the knee, just help us have some mindful leverage. So that's not a force, but it is an easing, shall we say. Check in that your bum is nice and even so that we're not tipped off the pelvis, but we're nice and planted through the bum, which of course is the base of your spine. Grow tall and gently twist to the left. Drawing your shoulders back and down. Take a breath. Exhale, releasing forward. Inhale, sweeping your arms up to the top. Palms touch. Exhale to your chest. Pelvic tilts to finish. So hands on the knees. Inhale, just arching your back. Tilt your bum forward. Exhale, roll the spine back. Couple more. Side profile. Inhale, so you're arching. You lift. Exhale, rolling the pelvis back, gently does it. So again, finding your range of motion in all of these moves. Two more. Inhale, lift the chest, draw the shoulders back. Exhale, rounding out. One more time. Inhaling, arching, exhale, rounding. And then coming up to upright and just roll your shoulders back and down. And with your hands just resting on your thighs, let your eyes close. And let's just finish here with a little kind of quiet seated moment where we get to check in with how we feel. Your mind, your body, and your breath. Take one more nice deep inhale. And exhale, place your palms together at your chest and bow your head gently, looking in towards your center. Namaste.